So there's a Q&A button right beneath me in which if you have specific questions, you can go ahead and submit them there and I can answer them. Or if you have something that's more of a conversation and you'd like to ask a number of questions, I can unmute your mic and we can have a conversation. So at the moment, you're the only one here. So if you don't have any questions, then we'll just be waiting for other people to join because I don't. Okay, cool. I'll unmute your mic.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. Hello, Sheila.
Hi, thank you. This is such a surprise to be the only one here speaking to you, so that's lovely.
Yeah, of course.
So I've come across MemberMouse in the last sort of week. I currently use MemberPress, and I'm just sort of looking at the features that MemberMouse does, and I like the just the articles about how to categorize your levels in a membership and things like that. And it's just making me think, am I with the right sort of membership platform, really?
Well, the first place that I would like to start in ultimately answering that question is getting an understanding of what your current situation is. How long have you been running your membership site? Do you have an established group of people? Are you running into particular issues or limitations that are causing you to look for a different solution?
So I run a handwriting business helping kids improve their handwriting. And so I have a lot of PDF downloads of worksheets. My membership has been running for about a year now, year and a half. But what I'm wanting to do is, rather than have a whole load of worksheets that you just say to a parent, well, they're on there, go and help yourself, a little bit like a library, I want to construct a more tailored approach where I actually give them sort of set lessons and set tasks and things to do, possibly on a daily basis, but they don't feel overwhelmed if they didn't get them done on that day. That's why I'm just looking at changing the sort of the library approach to different types of features, which has got me just looking around, really.
Right. Well, it sounds like if that is the biggest point for you is trying to develop that type of course with a set of modules and maybe quizzes and tasks and touch points. That sounds to me like a learning management system. And that can work in conjunction. It can work in conjunction with MemberMouse. I'm not sure what MemberPress can work in conjunction with, but likely the major players can also work with MemberPress. So it sounds like to me if you've got stuff set up, because here's my concern, right? Like if you already have work done and there isn't any major issues in terms of how it's functioning currently, other than that you want to add that functionality, then it really doesn't make sense at this point to throw that work out. You know, if you were a business in a larger place and you were really having issues where revenue was being impacted by some of the limitations of the software, which can happen with MemberPress at certain sizes and in certain circumstances, I would have a different conversation with you. But given you're just getting started, I think, even though I would love to have you as a customer, I think it's super important not to redo work that's already been done.
Yes.
You know, you've already started here. So I would say you're going to want to look for learning management systems because learning management systems specifically address the functionality of building courses and having things like quizzes and modules and keeping track, like having little things for, yeah, and in the chat, Cindy's adding some examples of different learning management systems. Cindy, we do have an article, right, on learning management systems that we integrate with. Maybe that would be a good thing to include there. But yeah, so I think if you take a look at those plugins and make sure that pick one that.
And I suppose another question that I have is linked to Your system is, and I confess I don't know much about it, and I thought I didn't expect to be the only one here today. I thought I'd just sit quietly in the background. Was gamification concepts.
So again, that's going to be another plugin. See,
it's a plugin.
Yeah, so the way that usually the WordPress ecosystem is designed, some companies don't do it this way. Some companies are more of a master of none. What's the phrase? Something
Jack
of something.
All trades, a master of none.
Exactly, something that. So when you have a company who's doing all these different things, like each one of these areas, gamification, course progress and learning management, membership, member directory, all these things are very specific functionality. And the nice thing about the WordPress ecosystem is that it is a plug and play approach. So that means companies like MemberMouse, MemberPress, other companies can focus on a very specific deep dive functionality, right? And then they can integrate, and you can add on other plugins to add additional capabilities. So you might want to, so for the gamification thing again, so maybe some of those learning management systems have gamification built into them, which is where you would more likely find that type of functionality, because they're specifically focusing on guiding people through a course experience. Whereas a membership platform is more focused on accepting payment, registering members, managing members, providing abilities to integrate with third-party systems, giving you the ability for being able to flexibly access, add additional access to more content for customers, a whole suite of other things. So yeah, so it looks like you're looking for add-ons and not necessarily changing your core membership technology.
Okay. Thank you. That's really helpful. And I appreciate your time and your honesty also of just saying actually what you might have is working well for you. So that's sort of wonderful.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, and feel free to join again. I mean, I do the office hours, obviously, so for MemberMouse, but my passion is about just the way I started as a consultant. So I'm not a really good salesman for MemberMouse. I basically just like to help people solve problems. So I'll give you the answer, whatever I think it is based on my experience. So if you want to come back and join, you're welcome to, if you think that there's a question that I could answer.
I'm not sure that I necessarily do have a question. As I say, I just thought I could sit in the background and just watch and listen to everyone else's questions.
Well, sometimes you can. Sometimes you can, because sometimes there's a lot of people on, and I'm answering questions through the Q&A end to end and even over the time. And then sometimes nobody shows up, and then sometimes one person. So it's always different. But anyway, appreciate you joining today.
That's brilliant. I'm going to leave you to it, but thank you very much for your help. I've taken a screenshot of that advice as well, of those different examples. So thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so we're going to wrap up for today. So thank you so much for joining. And I will be here next week to answer your questions. If you need help in the meantime, you can reach out to our support team at support.membermouse.com or go to our knowledge base at support.membermouse.com. So that's it. Thanks again for joining, and have a great weekend.